Saturday the 24th of February 2024. A warm welcome to the channel. Now, quite often I do reports on the Three Gorges dams or dams in China, etc., etc. And this one is quite recent in Tibet. Tibet is the western part of China. You may have seen movies with Brad Pitt with 7 Years in Tibet, and gives a brief outline of the Japanese, I will say that again, the Chinese occupation of the actual country. And according to Radio Free Asia, authorities have arrested over 100 Tibetan monks and other Tibetans on Thursday. The current situation or status is unknown, and more mass protests are happening in Tibet because of a dam that they want to build. China has something like 84,000 dams, and it does contribute quite a large percentage to the electric, and supposedly they are meant to prevent floods. But in 2020, related to the Three Gorges, didn't do a very good job. And with this, these Tibetan monks, if this dam is going to be built, they would destroy 6 temples there, which have been in Tibet for thousands, hundreds, something like that, of years. And they are protesting, and the Chinese authorities are not having any of it at all. Tibet, I do believe, was a country before. China claimed it after World War II, something like that. Now, is it right that the Chinese government can just go into this part and demand, without any negotiation, and saying we're going to build a dam here and we're going to provide more electricity to China to make it more stable? Control the water, you control the world. So in Tibet, you have the Himalayas, or part of the Himalayas, and it is a major water supply, not just for, you could say, Tibet or parts of China, but also into Asia, into Southeast Asia as well. So closing up the water is going to put maybe a crisis into India and even to Southeast Asia as well. And then China has more power because they control the water. If you don't have water, well, can you imagine a day without going to your tap or your faucet, getting a glass and drinking water? And you can't. You would have to buy bottled water, possibly, which is going to be more expensive. We do pay water rates, but it's not the most expensive rate in the world as well. This is what's happening in Tibet at the moment, and you won't see this much on, or you won't see this at all on Chinese state media, because they only promote the positive things, but not the negative things, and how a authoritarian government can just do this without any negotiation. We're going to do this, okay, done. No negotiation, straight to it. Oh, this is in the way. Oh, I don't care, it's 1,000 years old. Oh, this is Tibetan culture, it's not Chinese culture, just destroy it, bam. This has been through the international campaign for Tibet. Many people in Tibet are just get on with their lives. They don't like the CCP or the CPC because of these things happen, and they always have this grudge against it. But the Chinese PLA, for example, the People's Liberation Army, can you really call them liberation if Tibet is part of China? According to the CCP, the Chinese government, it is. Can you do anything about it? You just have to go with the rules. You have to go with the flow. And I think when people get upset related to culture of these beautiful Tibetan monasteries, which were allowed to be kept until now, because it's the government sort of with a strong hand. Yeah, okay, so it cut off right in the middle there. I do believe my alarm went off. My wake up at lunchtime alarm. Oh, I need some coffee. Hold on. Did you notice that my coffee cup matches my shirt today? Oh, I do think. This is how it is in China, not just in Tibet. Is that people know what's going on. Yeah. It's not advertised, it's not broadcast on social media, and they just accept it. There's nothing that they can do, because unless there is a whole big campaign that the people rise against the government, then something will be done. But if it's a couple of hundred or a couple of thousand or even 10,000, the PLA will squash it. Now, hopefully while I'm making, or when you see this video, there are going to be some pictures around, but literally I'm just frustrating my anger and letting the world know over this. So if you are pro-Tibet and you think that the CCP is evil related to Tibet and how they overthrew it in the 1950s, and now, how to say, we are going to destroy this to build a dam to make more money. The thing is, it's been like that for years, hundreds of years, thousands of years. So why do you need to do it now? Why didn't you do it 40 years ago? Maybe technology, there possibly are some reasons. But this is me just venting my anger that, how to say, you live a peaceful, quiet life. You are Buddhist. You go to the temple. You give your life to being a Buddhist person, and then the bully, China comes along and destroys your life. You could say enough is enough is enough, and in that way people are just getting mad. In China themselves, well, are people happy with the government? People say yes, but it's sort of what the CCP has done for years and years. They gave them, in the 1979 came along, and there, China now can do economic trade. Woohoo! But between 1979 and 1989, the only people who got rich was the government. No one else really got rich in that period. Then Tiananmen Square came along. We all know what happened then. And then in the 90s, they sort of gave the Chinese people more freedom because they don't want this incident like Tiananmen to happen again. So step by step, and every time they can feel a sense of anger, they give them an extra luxury. Like, here's the internet, here's more TV stations, here's a better train system, you can have a passport so you can go to Thailand. So people go, and they calm down again. My examples are not the best in the world, but this is how China runs. So it's just below that temperament. And when people do get angry, there's only a small amount of people who do, like the banking system, the corrupt housing development system. With all that, it's only a few hundred or tens of thousands of people easily controllable with a very large PLA, the People's Liberation Army. This is exactly the same what's happening in Tibet. A few people are getting angry. It's not getting broadcast internationally, and the CCP heavy hand bully, yes, bully them. And there's nothing really you can do. So, as I mentioned, there's quite a few people in prison or in jail or have been arrested over this situation. What do you think? Leave your comments, everything there below. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.